Okay, so welcome to this shorter sequence this week for the Strength Without Strain series. I think we're on week 4 now. So this sequence, I'll be going through some of the practices that we're going to be doing, in week 4, and I just want to go through with you the kind of one of the main principles that we'll be exploring on this session. So what we'll be doing is just looking at engagement and activation around the centre, but rather than just thinking, which we've been working a little bit earlier, rather than just thinking of kind of belly and even sideways lower back support, we also want to look what's going on a little bit lower down. So kind of pelvic floor, inner thighs work. Yeah. So you may or you may not have something to hand to use for this engagement exercise before we kind of do more active stuff on the ground. So this is a block. Most of you know the yoga block. You can try and find something that kind of replicates it, whether it's a book or whether it's some form of rolled up blanket. Actually isn't bad. I mean, this isn't a really hard surface. You know, it's foam, it's not wooden. That's, for me, ideal for this kind of exercise. So a lot of the blankets or the towels can create a dissimilar kind of support and connection for the body. So find what you can find to try this out. Okay, so I'm taking the block between my thighs, and we've done this, those of you who've been with me for a while, just lots of you, we've done this loads of times, so you kind of know what the work is, you know what the practice is, you know what's going on, and it's very much an activation type exercise. So you can just see what it feels like to just hold the block or whatever support you've got between your thighs, and you're just holding it, and it's just see what it feels like. And even just holding it rather than creating any pressure, you will probably feel some activation or a sense of the thighs at least that you've not felt without doing this exercise. So you're already beginning to take your attention and your awareness to where the block has contact with the thighs. So squeeze a little more, and so we're kind of halfway between. If we go kind of going from 1 to 10, kind of around 5 here. We're just seeing if that's making any other changes in the body as we create that sort of squeeze inwards into the block or the support. So I can just start to feel something going on around my centre, possibly around my glutes, but checking them out, there's not a huge amount going on. Okay, there is now told them to activate. And again, it's quite difficult to spot, but more around kind of the pelvic floor. I think there is a little bit going on there. So just notice also what's going on in the thighs in terms. So if you're allowing your thighs to come a bit further forward, so you're internally rotating, how does it feel? You may already be there because we'll all have different stances here. And then how does it feel if you come to what you think is a kind of aligned neutral stance with toes going forward, knees going forward, and then just see how it feels, only for a second, because it's suit everybody's SI joint at the bottom of the back, how it feels to do a little bit more external rotation. Then come back to your centre, so that you know that you're broadly in centre with the support. And feel the feet on the ground, and that idea that the feet are either sinking into soft sand or rooted down into the earth, whatever kind of visual sense can give you that connection with the feet. And feeling the legs, feeling strong and supported on the outside and on the inside. Okay, just for a moment, go from 5 to 10. So you're kind of like trying to crush the brick or whatever the support is. Really, really going for it. And just notice what that activation does. Yeah, so I feel kind of a bit of an uplift, and switch it off completely. Switch it on to 10. Now, for me, it's general uplift. So I've been talking often, and particularly more recently, of this kind of ability to extend through the spine. So that kind of little bit of a experience of squeezing the thighs and realizing that that gives you more space, more extension, more of an uplift, is an interesting thing to just take note of, because that's going to be more supportive for you in lighter running, in stronger running, or just generally in your posture, in your walking. So go back to taking any work beyond the holding the support between the thighs, and then squeeze and go up to wherever you feel you want to. So you can go up to 10 if you want to, or you can go up to a lower number. So whichever number you've gone up to, just notice, take one hand to your belly and see if you can, and one hand to your chest, and notice if you're breathing. Mine's really, there is some breath there, but there's not much going on. I'm probably on 9 or 10 squeeze here, so I'm just gonna, okay. So how can we reduce that so we can breathe a little bit? Relax the shoulders and the jaw, which might have tensed up, toes might have tensed up in this work. So you need to find the right amount of engagement. So we're kind of playing with activation, but we're also playing with what's our level of engagement on that kind of scale. That means we can breathe, we don't feel kind of like stuck like a robot or like a statue, but that we feel the support and we know what's going on. We know that we can feel the thighs activated. We might have a little bit of a present of an uplift through the pelvic floor, activation around the center, and yeah, glutes are doing a little bit of work as well. So the glutes as well. Okay, that's a bit of work that is really useful to do, and it's fairly simple with the right support. So we've done that loads of times. We've done it in other poses, like bridge being a particular one. So you could use that for bridge. I might do that on another occasion. Just particularly if your knees start to roll out to the side when you're doing bridge pose. Really useful to keep that strength in the legs and to get that support for the alignment in the body. Okay, so that's enough of that for now. So get rid of your support, and we'll just have a bit of shakeout before we go down to the ground to do a little bit of work. So I will move the laptop for that so you get a little bit closer sense of what we're doing. Okay, so let's just shake out the fingers, the wrists, the arms. And then the leaf of the side breath, the out breath, the jiggle up and down, so the whole body just gets a little bit of shape, a little bit of energy, a little bit of warmth. And release the breath. And if you want to go around in circles, then you can do a little bit of rotation. Okay. And okay. So shake your legs out. So we're going to go down to the floor. So I just need to just do a little bit of adjustment here. Apologise for the noise. This gives you a better opportunity to see where we're heading. Okay. Again. Okay. So coming down, we're going to come down to get onto our belly. I'm going to start with movements that are really familiar, and then movements that might be less familiar. So coming down, finding your way onto your belly, and just stacking hand on hand and head on hand if that's kind of okay for the neck here. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the throat. Just let the belly breath be present so you can feel that movement in the center. relax the body down as much as you can. So I know for some people it's difficult and they end up having to come onto the toes here. So do what you can. Certainly one option that I'll just let you know about now, if that's a problem. Most of you know, but maybe you don't do it, maybe you don't look after yourself enough, is rolled up blanket, which you may or you may not see in this light, to go under the heels, go under the front of the feet. Yeah, so ankles, wherever kind of works, with that for the support. So you can soften in your feet. It's really, really helpful. So I really suggest you try that out if you need it. If you don't need it, don't need it. If you like it and it's helpful, you can still take that option. Okay, so a couple of more deep breaths if that's pleasant for you. Not just one of the normal breath, natural breath. And then we'll just do a little bit of opening for the hips before we do some extensions through the legs. So just taking one foot more towards the ceiling and do these circles that we're really familiar with. And let's start with really small circles so we get really deep into that knee joint and really deep by consequence into our hip joint. So going deep and small can be really helpful, as well as doing the bigger movements. And we're looking for fluidity, flow. We're looking for smooth circuits. Okay, and opposite direction. Circuiting the leg. Still small circles. Give it a sigh or a deeper out breath at any point to relieve any tension. And release the leg down. Opposite leg, mini circles. So interestingly, this leg's a little bit tighter, hips a little bit tighter, thighs a little bit tighter. And then the hamstrings need a little bit of work at the moment, so I need to go into that later in my own time. So opposite direction, small maneuvers, smooth, very tight circles here. Just lost some of that, interesting. And then release the legs down. So find a position where the knees are on the floor rather than you tipping out to the side. So the top of the knees. So you know that you've got alignment through the legs from the sitting bones and the hips and the knees and the ankles as much as you can here. Okay, so we're going to try something now here, which is a little bit stronger. So if you can remember what it feels like to engage a little bit more around the thighs, around the pelvic floor, around the butt, you might feel it a bit here, around the belly. Just see if you can switch that on and still breathe. Okay, so on an in-breath, press down slightly with the left leg and lift the right leg. Keep engaging, if you can, the thighs and that centre. There's a sense of reaching the foot away, sense of keeping the other leg active, so the support. So the leg's not very high, you can see from where my leg is, it's really not zooming up, but I've got the thigh off the floor, and I feel like there's more weight going through front of the hip flexor. And I'm engaging as much as I can around the centre. And I'm relaxing down, completely letting go of the belly and any holding that might have. So sometimes a rocking side to side helps. And so I'm going on to the opposite side. So get that engagement again. Feel the breath. And then lift the opposite leg and a little bit of pressure through the opposite leg, as long as that's safe for the knee. And let's say it's not a big move here, but it is a lift. And we're trying to engage a number of areas to help us get that no support, so we can reduce the amount of strain. It might feel a little bit like there's a lot of work going on, but that's work and support, hopefully, rather than strain and making more difficulties for yourself. You're trying to get yourself out of difficulties through the support. And release down. And again, just loosen and relax in the center anyway. You can through an out breath. Okay. So from here, we're just going to engage the spine a little bit more. So that's kind of an opportunity to relax here. So we're going to re-engage everywhere we did before. So maybe if you feel the butt engaging, feel the belly engaging, feel the thighs and the pelvic floor, maybe, yes. So just get whatever is in your access to activate, just get that activated. As I say, you could use the block or support. So as you breathe in, you're going to lift the chest off the floor and you're going to lift both legs off the floor. And you're going to take the belly and support you. And you're going to lower the legs down. And the head down. And relax the shoulders. And the jaw. So we're going to do slightly different this time. We're going to come up initially, lifting up the chest. Look over the right shoulder. Engage the center. And then pick up the left leg. So it's more of a diagonal or more of an opposite contralateral type movement. And release down. And relax everything. And then opposite sides, looking over the left shoulder and engaging everything in the center and lifting the right leg. So you're up slightly, yeah, chest is off the floor and there's just a gaze over that shoulder. And back down, getting a little bit of a rock from side to side. Okay, so we can undo some of that work if it needs undoing in the back. So we're going to come, so that was a back lift in various ways. So we're coming, taking our hands on our shoulders to come back and release back for a moment. So see how that goes. And the arms lengthened. You can take the arms to relax down. Take the arms behind you, both sides to just relax. Okay, and if this isn't comfortable, which it isn't for lots of people, then you just come onto your back and bring your knees into the chest. And just go from side to side and circles on your lower back. For those of you that like this, then please enjoy. So you want your neck free, you want the sense of the head connecting to the ground, if it will. You can always stack the hands to relieve tension because you can't get the head down towards the floor. It's nice to do that. It's nice to have the head having some form of support. You could have pillows and blankets underneath, that's another option. So the lower back gets the rest. And the breath's available to massage the lower back. So from that pause, coming on to our backs. Okay. So see how the legs feel. Hopefully still have that quality or that connection of knowing what it feels like to feel the muscles. So you've activated them so you can feel the inner thigh maybe. Still make sense of that. Maybe generally get a sense of the legs that have done some work there. And the back also. So let things relax for a moment. Feel the breath in the body. Notice how the spine feels, where the curves are, lower back. Maybe the neck slightly. So taking the hands, interlocking them and underneath the back of the head. Elbows out to the side. And just breathe in and just create a little bit of an arch in the lower back as the belly extends and the pelvis tips forward. And then go more towards the flat back. As the belly comes in and the lower back drifts closer towards the floor. Okay, so in a moment we're going to do these arch and curl movements. A kind of nice antidote to what we were just doing. So going to take an in-breath and create that arch. So the pelvis, more weight goes to the pelvis, a little bit more weight to the shoulders and the elbows if possible. And then on the out-breath, the belly goes in. And also this kind of have this sense of gathering in through the pelvic floor and the thumbs here to get me to, almost like that's the movement that's getting me up. So it's getting my back muscles activated, but it's mainly my belly that's doing the work. And then I'm going to lower down slowly, really, really slowly, really, 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 really slowly. Let the weight go into the hands if it hasn't done already. So you don't want to pull up with your neck. You want the hands and elbows to be the support and the lead here. And let everything melt. Moments melt could be called here. So we can just relax. I know the hands are making it a little bit more difficult maybe for the shoulders, but just see if you can relax and switch things off for a moment. Okay, so we're going to repeat. So in breath, create the arch, tip the pelvis slightly, create a little bit more weight through the shoulders, maybe the elbows in that open position. And then breathe out, activate and work through the whole of the center to support you coming up and forward. And then back with as much control. So it's almost like doing a rolling bridge in reverse. And down. Okay. So you could obviously do more of those if you like them. I would really invite you to do those movements. However, for now, we're going to go on to the diagonal maneuver, and I'm going to show you a slightly different variation here. So I'm going to relieve my right hand, and I'm going to work with my left shoulder and elbow, if you like, keeping the hand where it is under the head. And we're going to do these diagonal arch and curls, but I'm just going to add in something. So I'll just show you. So I do an in-breath, and it's more about creating an arch this way between the left shoulder and the right hip. So, and now I'm flattening. And now create that arch. So the belly can expand a little bit to help that diagonal arch this way. Okay, so what we're going to do that diagonal arch again on the in-breath. And on the out-breath, we're going to use our support all around the center, bring up the left elbow and the right knee towards each other. And then I'm pausing. And then I'm opening up, but this time the new move, or the extended move, is I get my heel to the ground and I lengthen through that right leg as I take my arm back towards the floor. And I relax again and let everything melt into the ground. I'll do a second one. Again, you could always do more on your own time. So as I breathe in this time, I bring the foot back to its position on the floor. Diagonal arch if you can. Out breath, everything kind of activates in center. It's drawing me in, it's drawing me in, it's drawing me in. And now I'm going to slowly release. And extend this time. Lot of stuff going on there, lots of stuff. Okay, and we're going to just do the opposite side now. So both feet on the ground and opposite side. So I've got my right hand under my head, right elbow out to the side. Let's see if I can get this diagonal arch going on from right shoulder to left hip. So breathing in and just getting this kind of diagonal. So it might just feel like it's not diagonal, but just doing your best to get a sense of a little bit more weight through this right shoulder and this left hip if you can. And then out breath, everything almost like sucks in to get the knee and the elbow towards spiral. It's a spiral. And then we return. And remembering to get the heel down, foot down, and lengthen. And melt and relax. Okay, so second time. So breathing in, bring the foot back to the floor and create that diagonal. Breathe out and spiral knee towards elbow. And unwind with control. Bring the foot down at some point to extend and return. I love those. Okay, so just going to do a rolling bridge in center. So feet back on the floor and let the arms relax at the side. So I did mention earlier, if you know your legs start to separate here, and I'm just going to go out to the side, I'm exaggerating, nobody will do that, but you might start, one leg might drift away, then you might benefit from the use of the support, the use of the lock or whatever support you use. So, but what you can do is just press down your big toes here, so you're getting a little bit big toe and maybe the second toe kind of feel. So there's a little bit more of support on the inner thighs again. That's another way of getting that engagement centrally. Okay, and then just relax it. Okay, so you might want to switch it on a little. You might want to switch it on a lot, but I'm suggesting a little. And from here, we're just going to roll straight up. So we'll create an arch on the in-breath. On the out-breath, the lower back will go down, and then we'll pick up the bottom, the lower back, come up to the rib cage, come up to the base of the shoulder blades. Then we switch off the thighs, we switch off the butt. Keep the knees, if we can, just still going forward from the hips, and then we roll down. Nice, 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 nice. Create the arch. And soften the lower back down, picking them up again, working away on rolling up to about the shoulder blades, switching everything up. Or two when you just activated it, I know, and then lower down. And when you land, just bring the knees into the chest. Backwards and forwards, side to side. Circle. Relax any tension in the throat, the jaw, the eyes. Circle the other direction. Okay, and either roll over to your side or rock up to sit. And I'm going to leave it there. And we'll investigate this a little bit more maybe next week. And we're going to be doing more balance and squats a little bit more next week. Anyway, that's next week. So I don't want to move you on too quickly. So this was more about engaging the thighs, getting that sense of activation, enough engagement to keep the support without strain and overstressing. So an idea for that is to allow the breath to be present, otherwise we're just holding everything in. Okay, thanks for joining me and see you soon.